A growing chorus of advocates are calling on the city to close some downtown streets to traffic and open them exclusively to pedestrians. They say Toronto's sidewalks are simply too narrow to keep a safe physical distance. And while the idea has been implemented in other cities, there appears to be a reluctance to do so here in Toronto. With strong social distancing guidelines in mind, pedestrians are being forced to sometimes walk into live traffic to keep the recommended 2 meters away from others, a dangerous new way of navigating downtown streets.
You can't walk past them without stepping onto the road, which is full of potentially dangerously speeding drivers. So there's something in here that I think that really needs to change. The hospitals don't have the capacity to deal with victims of road violence at this time.
You can't touch this.
A point driven home in this video. It went viral this week. A Toronto team building what they call a social distance machine to prove the sidewalks are just too narrow.
Stop. Hammer time.
I just would like to see a solution where we're not putting people in danger.
What were some of the most challenging areas to walk around with that contraption on?
Yonge Street was very difficult. Even without other people, there are objects that really restricts the passage. There's almost only 1 meter really to pass through mailboxes, newspaper boxes, bike posts, lamp posts, condo scaffolding. So even at the best of times, people have to jostle for space.
The average Toronto sidewalk is 1.5 to 2 meters wide. As part of their own pre-pandemic street design plan, the city itself highlighted how much space pedestrians require in different scenarios. A person on their own takes up almost an entire meter of available sidewalk space.
It's not true that sidewalks are some kind of magical fairyland where this virus can't be transmitted. So it's just not fair to funnel people onto sidewalks without making the street safer.
We're not saying no to anything. We're saying not now.
Tory says he's making all his decisions, including extra space for pedestrians, based on advice from public health. And here's what Toronto's chief health officer has to say.
The risk when you actually pass somebody in an open air environment, and if it's quick, is considered low. We can't say zero. There is no such thing as an absolute zero, but it is a very low risk.
2 Ryerson professors have penned an open letter to Toronto's mayor urging him to reconsider.
Why do you think there is almost a reluctance in Toronto to do this?
I think the city is struggling with trying to make sure they're not giving contradictory advice. So I think they're concerned about, they don't want there to be a contradiction of please stay home, but here are places for you to walk.
But she says essential transportation does happen on foot. Walking is not recreational for everyone. In the meantime, one Toronto startup is designing an app to help with the problem, highlighting the most crowded sidewalks during the pandemic and offering alternative routes.
So if we start spreading out the foot traffic for pedestrians, it ends up being safer for everyone. It's actually easier for people to keep that distance.
Now again, this idea of closing some streets to traffic has already been implemented in cities around the world and even right here in Canada, including Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary, and even Brampton. For City News, I'm Tina Yazdani.